Welcome to the Mother Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Well, it is February the 20th. It's like we only have 8 more days in this month, and I'm just kind of like, where did it go? It did a little bit better than January did, but you know what we're celebrating today, Angie, which I know you're gonna say ill.
Cherry
but
pie.
We are celebrating, I know, Cherry Pie Day. Today is Cherry Pie Day. And my favorite cherries are maraschino cherries. And I'll tell you, I felt the same way you used to feel about fruited pies, like frozen pies. I mean, not frozen, but fried pies. I don't like all that syrup and everything either, but if you get it homemade, I promise you your mind will change, because I had one of the best pieces of slices of apple pie I've ever had out of town, and it made me actually start liking apple pie. It tasted almost like a on the outside it had like the brown sugar and everything on it, but on the inside it almost tastes like a peach cobbler.
That's the closest or furthest thing I guess I would do. But when I make my own peach cobbler, I do more of a crust than filling type stuff, I guess.
Right. So when you make your peach cobbler, do you do it with biscuits or with an actual crust?
I do cake mix.
No, I don't do that. That's too bready for me. I like mine done with the crust. And then what I do is I take the crust and tear it up and throw it inside a little bit so I could just have little bits and pieces. Because
you like more filling. I like more bread, like even banana pudding.
I like it to be even. With banana pudding, I like more cookies. Because I'm not into cookies. I'm not into pudding. But I'll tell you, my aunt Elnora, she used to make the best banana pudding, and I ain't had one that good since, because she knew how to do the whipping on top, put it in the oven, and have that pretty topping. I haven't had one like that since, and she's been gone for a very, very long time. But I love a good banana pudding. But today is Cherry Pie Day, so if anybody knows how to make a good cherry pie, as a matter of fact, for those that are listening to us, if you have a great cherry pie recipe that's good and homemade and won't be so syrupy on the inside, let us know about it, because I do like cherries, and I think that if I had a homemade cherry pie that wasn't so syrupy, I probably could like it with a little bit of.
You could probably make your own with like a light syrup.
That's why I say if they have a recipe, let us know. But if you use the maraschino cherries, that's just like using the peaches that are in the glass jar. You're using the juice from that.
Yeah.
Because you might not believe it, but like I eat cherries just raw out of the jar.
Yeah, me too.
And it'd be a lot of syrup in it. I take that syrup and I use it in smoothies. I use it in my lemonades. I use it and it lasts for a long time. And I only get like a regular size, but that syrup go a long way, because just a little teaspoon of it gives you what you need.
That's true.
Yeah, so it'd be a lot. Well, our topic today, Angie, is on preference. There's been so much talk about preference, and for example, people don't really want to call it preference anymore. If you like a certain type of person, then you could be called a colorist. If you like a certain status of man, you could be called a gold digger. If you like a certain kind of car, then you're called, what do they call you? If you like too many things, they call you greedy. If you like your money a certain kind of way, they think you're ridiculous. What do you think about this preference stuff? And what's one of your preferences that is just a deal breaker, that if that preference is not given to you, then you're just not interested?
Definitely a cigarette smoker.
Yeah. Remember that thing I sent you the other night about, they said in cigarette smoke they put cat booty juice?
I wouldn't be surprised. It'd probably be.
I read that at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I almost fell out the bed. I was laughing so hard, and I kept looking at it over and over because I was trying to see if he was gonna laugh. But the man was so serious. that I was like, he is not joking, he is serious. And I was saying to myself, and I need to see a documentary, and I want to see how they extract it and use it and make the cigarettes and everything, because I like seeing a breakdown of things like that. Well, speaking on the lines of preferences, I was reading this article that the Insider did. And so, if the Insider did it, that means that it went international, because they're a big mainstream media. And they said, as far as a preference, it says that women are most interested in engineers on Tinder. You ever came across any engineers on Tinder? I'm just like, really?
That's pretty specific, but no.
It's very specific for like a dating app that they would say that it says they're most interested in engineers on Tinder. It didn't say 50%. It said most interested in.
Where you heard that at?
The Insider. They're a news organization, and they do different types of news, but it was one of the number one topics when it came to talking about preferences. Mm-hmm. And it said, the headline of it was, women are most interested in engineers on Tinder. I wonder if those women that are interested in those men, that those men are interested in them, because I would imagine engineers have a different way they think and maybe what type of woman they want. Mm-hmm. If they're also looking for someone who's an engineer, or if they want to go for a more.
Did it say what type of engineer? Like,
it just said engineer, and I guess engineering could be anything. It could be science engineering, it can be all kinds of engineering. I guess when you go to like I was telling you on one of the podcasts, all the kids in the regular class were downstairs, all the kids in engineering were upstairs. Well, when you're in engineering, you can go any way you want to. All that means is that those engineering classes was preparing them to have an engineering major when they got in college. Some of them went to college and used those degrees, and 50% of them did not. 50% of them just were in those smart classes all that time for no reason, I guess. I don't know. All right, a couple other preferences. Let me know what you think. Okay, it said the top 7 things that women will always be attracted to. Do you have 7 things that you're attracted to?
I'm sure.
Okay, it said on here that women are really attracted to a guy who knows what he wants in life, and is going after it. So I would just simplify that with an ambitious guy. You like an ambitious guy, or you like a guy that's kind of like still trying to figure it out?
I mean, of course, ambitious.
Okay. I like an ambitious guy too, but not so ambitious that all they focus on is that and not on a relationship.
True.
So I like, I like a balance. I'm a Libra. So, I always say I'm a Libra, but my sign plays a lot of part in how I know I feel, because I know I'm a true one. I'm a September one. So we believe in the balance and the scale. So I like somebody who knows how to balance it out, where they can be so ambitious in what they do, but they know how to turn it on and off. Yeah, some people don't know how to turn it off, and you could be on a date with them and they're talking about the airplane they're creating, or, this new thing that they're doing, or these shoes they create. And it's just like, do you know how to turn it off? The second thing it says that women are really, really, really prefer is someone who has a great presence. Is presence important, or do you feel like presence can be deceiving?
Both.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever met somebody that you were like, oh my God, he's really a gentleman, he's really this, that, and the other, and then when you got to know him, you were like, what a butthole?
Yeah, when I went to Atlanta.
There you go.
That's the only thing I could think of.
But I always have to remind people that when you originally meet someone, whether it's on the phone or on Zoom or Tinder or wherever you meet them, just always and I hate to sound like this because it's going to sound negative, but whatever. Always think in the back of your mind, when you originally meet somebody, it's their representative. It's not really them. It's who they want to present. And that might be the person that they're aspiring to be, but not there yet. But they want to give you that person because they want to attract you.
And that's why I say at the jump, like, you don't have to try too hard to be someone you're not, because it's easy for me to spot that on. Like, I don't care about how much money you're going to take out your pocket and ask me to hold it real quick. Like, that does not impress me.
Because I always say people can fake for a good 3 months. And then after 3 months, you really get to see who they are. This is a thing about what I've always said to women. Date somebody or get to know somebody for a year before you consider dating them. Now, this is when I was younger. This ain't now. I ain't got this kind of time right now. But what I'm saying is get to know them for all 4 seasons. Know who they are in the summer, in the winter, in the fall, and in the spring. Let me tell you why. Because I can be honest enough to tell you, I am not the same person in the winter that I am in the spring, summer, and fall.
And you want to see who that person is when they broke, when they down and out, when they at their highest, when they got everything. Cause that could be y'all when y'all together. Y'all could have everything right now. And then when y'all broken down and out, he done turned into a whole nother person. I done been there.
Right. Like I like in the wintertime, I do not like cold weather at all, to the point where I'm willing to stay in the house the whole winter. I'm good. I could have easily been a bear because I could know how to hibernate real good. I'm great in the spring, winter, and the fall. But if you're the type of person who's like, yeah, let's move to Boston, the snow gets up over the roof, you lost me. I know my preference is not to be in the cold. So I had a friend, he used to always tell me, he would text me all the time and say, I know you got an attitude today because it's cold. And I'm like, I sure do. Don't text me no more today. It was kind of like a running joke because during the wintertime, he'd be like, oh my God, I know you're miserable. And I'm just like, yep, call me back in the springtime. He was like, wow, that's crazy. And I was serious, like, call me back in the spring.
What's cold to you? Like when they get in the 60s?
Well, I think it's better if I tell you, it'll be better for you to understand me a little bit better right now. My favorite weather is 80 to 114. That's my jam right there. So if I could wake up every day and it would be about 90 to 95, you would get the best dawn you've ever had. You would get the best version of me that you could ever know in your life if it was if I woke up every day and it was 90 to 95, but my sweet spot is 80 to 114. How do I know about 114? Because I've been in Texas when it's been 114, in San Antonio. I've been in Honduras when it was 114 for 8 summers in a row. I know 114. So I know that I can handle 114 because I've been in 114. 80 to me is like, okay, I don't have to wear a jacket. I can wear a t-shirt. And if I wear some socks, I'm gonna be warm. I don't have to really have the air conditioner on anything more than 77 or 76. I'm good. I know you're over there sweating, about to get your fan right now. Listen to me talk, huh?
No, I'm really gonna turn this fan up. Yeah.
But honestly, that's my jam right there. So I know this about myself. I'm happier when I'm warmer. So again, if the Holy Spirit dropped my soulmate down from heaven and said he is every single thing you want and about 15 things more that you need, but y'all got to live in Antarctica, I would say, Holy Spirit, take them back.
Do you know those blizzards out there be no joke?
I'd be like, take them back, Holy Spirit. I am going to openly defy you, Holy Spirit. I can't have it. I can't have it. All right. Next thing is humor. How important is humor on the preference spectrum?
I think it's very important. From 1 to 10, I think a 10.
You know what I like, and this is kind of weird. I like a guy who's not really funny, but he's corny enough to think he is. Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's hilarious to me that I'm laughing at you, not because of what you said was funny, but like, how did your brain come up with that dumb thing you just said? So I don't really need a guy who's like a real professional comedian, but if you can still make me laugh, and it's not one of those deal breakers if you can't make me laugh, because I'm funny enough to make us both laugh, so I'm not worried about that. But I like a guy who at least tries, because some people think they're just too good, or they're too rich, or they're too professional, or whatever, to hee hee ha ha, they're so serious all the time. I know those type of people, they're not fun and cute. So yeah, humor is really, really important. And I hear a lot of women who say they really preference is what we're talking about now, that they really prefer a man who can make them laugh, not somebody that's so buttoned up and tightened up that they can't laugh, even laugh at themselves. Like, can you imagine you and your guy, y'all sitting on the sofa watching a movie, and he says, okay, I'm gonna go get us something to drink, and he gets up and falls. Girl, I would be on the floor laughing. It would be, no, baby, I'm laughing at you because I know you didn't hurt yourself. I'm laughing. All right, on the preference spectrum, how big is spirituality on the preference schedule? Because people who are not spiritual are also awesome.
I mean, that's true, but I prefer someone that's spiritual.
Is there a reason why?
I think that's just another way where you can connect with someone more. Like I could be talking to someone that's not on a spiritual level about meditating or journaling or using stuff that I like, like my Indian singing bowl and stuff. Like, they're not going to be able to relate or connect with me on that level because that's something I like to do or use. So I would say on a scale from 1 to 10, maybe like an 8.
Okay. On a
Not that serious,
spiritual
but I would
level,
prefer.
on a spiritual level, I think it's important on a scale from 1 to 10. I would say it's probably a 6 or a 7. And the reason I say that is because people who are not spiritual are also awesome.
And that's true.
They have other things to bring to the table that probably on my end I hadn't even thought about, that they could introduce me to, that I could consider or think about or get more information about.
That's true.
Now I'm gonna tell you one thing: if you're religious and you holy rolling, you're gonna roll yourself on out the door, because I'm not dealing with that. Don't come to me. This is what I would not want, and this is a preference. Don't come to me thinking you know everything, thinking you know every single word in the Bible, thinking that only your religion is the only religion that's going to heaven.
Right.
Thinking that if it ain't your religious way, it ain't no way.
Right.
Don't come to me with a doctrine that is not flexible. So, because then I'm gonna sit down and say, you do know there's like 1,417 religions in the world, and every one of them think they're right? So like, you don't even want me to go there with you. You don't want to debate with me because you're going to lose, or at least I'm gonna give you something to think about next time you get with whoever you get with.
Yeah.
Someone who, how important is this on the spectrum preference? Someone who is intentional about life, meaning they know what their goals are and they're actually moving toward them on a daily basis. Meaning if somebody says, I really want to build this type of relationship, and then you see them every single day working toward building the type of relationship that the both of you have agreed to. So intentionality, how important is that?
Very. Maybe like on a scale from 1 to 10, I say for sure a 10.
Have you
there's
ever
ones that really do it, and there's ones that say like it sounds nice and they don't even know how to go about doing anything that they talk about.
And that's what I was about to ask you, is if you've ever been with someone that you put a plan together with, but then that person every day they weren't working on the plan and you could clearly see it.
Yeah, and they're beating themselves up because they don't know how to be a man or do this and that. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna, yeah. That's why it's very important for me now.
Now, you mentioned something that's important that I've always wondered what people mean. What do you mean when you say don't know how to be a man? Because there's so many levels to being a man.
I mean, just certain basics. Like, I wouldn't say taking the trash out, but I'm saying like how to treat a woman, how to just do manly things. Like, I have to really, but that pretty much summarizes it. But I'm saying,
I'm just surprised to hear someone your age say be a man or manly things, because your age group is so fluid and flexible now, where, like I was telling you, some women now don't even want men to open the door for them. I saw this guy at the post office. He had opened the door for this lady and she just walked in. She didn't say thank you. She didn't say nothing. He looked at me and I said, thank you for opening the door. He said, yeah, I should have snatched that other heifer out. I
saw this video where this guy did that and he pushed the
and
girl
then he
right
snatched her back out the door. Yeah, I was just like, wow, that was kind of rude. That it was like she felt like, yeah, you should open the door instead of just saying thank you. I said to the guy, anytime a man opens the door for me, I don't care if it's morning, noon, or evening, I always say thank you and have a great, like I'll say if it's morning, I'll say have a great morning. They're like, oh, thank you. Or if I'm like, have a great evening or something like that, or have a great night or weekend or something, and they're just like, oh, wow. Or one time a guy opened the door for me, I forgot where I was. And I said, thank you and have a fantastic weekend. He was like, well, I sure will. I was like, you have to tell people thank you for, he didn't have to open the door for me. Like,
I've opened the door for women myself and have done that. And I'd be like, well, you're welcome. Like, you're not.
I don't open the door for women. If you're not 55 or older and a senior citizen, I'm not opening
the door.
Well, no,
I'm saying they were probably 55 or older. They were like probably maybe 50 or older.
Oh, yeah. If you're
I don't care
if you're an elderly person and you look like you need a little help with getting that door open, I'm gonna open it. But if you just surprise me, helpful, you better open the door yourself. But now, one thing I will tell you is that sometimes, again, there are some women who I can open my own door. I can do this. I remember one time I went out on this date with this guy and he was in his little fancy old school car. It was really done up well. He had taken me to this restaurant out in Sugar Land. And we got to the restaurant, he cut the car off and I reached for the door. He said, if you open that door, we're going to have a problem. I put my little hand back over here. And I was like, okay, so that's good. He's a gentleman. I noticed he opened the door for me to get in the car. But we was at the restaurant. I was just gonna open the door. He was like, if you open that door, we don't have a problem. And I had a friend that if she would go somewhere and men would be coming up, whatever, she would purposely stand back and wait for the men to open the door for her. And they never had a problem with it or anything. And I said, sometimes we don't allow the men to be chivalrous anymore. We're so forward thinking that we can pay for our own food. We can open our own doors. We can, do all these things on our own. We can lotion our own legs. Child, if I got a man in the house, I ain't lotioning my own legs.
Yeah, those were the days.
It's just how spoiled I am. I mean, like, I will let you lotion my legs every day if that's what you want to do. But I don't know. I think that sometimes we don't give the guys an opportunity to, as you say, to be a man. And then sometimes these guys get in their head nowadays, well, y'all want equality, then y'all can pay all the bills and I'll stay home and babysit the kids or whatever. So it's like some things have gotten a little skewed, but that's why I keep making it a point to let anybody know that's interested in me that I do believe in gender roles. And I don't care if I make $250,000,000, I still want my man to wear the pants. And I still want him to take care of me, no matter what.
I was talking to a friend guy, and we were just talking about relationships, and he was saying how he was used during his last one, and he was saying that he was like, yeah, a lot of women out here, they want us to give them the world, but they don't want to provide the tools to something. I forgot what he said.
He sounds like a Bob the Builder guy that has all these great ideas, but he needs a woman to make them happen for him. I'm not a Bob the Builder.
That's why I was like, what exactly do you mean?
No, that's what it means. It means Bob the Builder. It's like I've met guys that have fantastic ideas. I mean, just wonderful. They can throw things out, but then they're looking for you to actually, like he said, put the tools together to make it happen. It's like, I want to build this 5,000 square foot mansion. Okay. But he wants the woman to go in and plan every single room and plan how everything's going to do, how to make it look like a house. Okay, you did bring.
Like, are you only good for just paying for stuff? Like,
right? Are you good for just the planning and the paying? But then I got to do all the other work. It's like
that might work for some people, though. I've seen that.
That's fine if that works for other people. But again, I'm not a Bob the Builder. Now, I understand the girls in their 20s and 30s. They're Bob the Builder type girls where they'll go in and build up a guy and do all these things. Mm-hmm. My problem is you can build them up and do all these things. And then when they walk away, they have everything, but maybe you don't have anything. But the fact that now you got to go with your tools, put your little tool belt on and go build another dude. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I ain't never been that girl, but all right.
But his reason for saying that, he told me, he said he's just come across a lot of women that don't have substance, I guess.
But why would he even mention that to you? Because that's almost like saying, well, my last boyfriend did this and my last boyfriend did that and my last boyfriend paid for this and my last boyfriend bought me a house. Like, I don't really care about how the mechanics of your last relationship worked. I need you to start from this level of where we are trying to build this. And it's okay for you to tell me what you don't like and what you don't want. That's fine. But don't tell me about your last relationship. Like, I'm not that person. It's kind of like when people come to me in business and they'll say, yeah, I hired this other lady and I hired her to do X, Y, and Z and she didn't do anything.
How was that going? Exactly.
And I always tell them, I don't know the other lady and I really don't need to know the story. I am who I am and I do what I say. You were referred to me. So obviously, I can do what I say I do. So. Right. Okay. Speaking on the lines of what we were just talking about, it said, also, as far as preference, what on the scale of on the spectrum of preferences, how is now this is a big one for me with me leadership ability.
Girl, that's a 1,500 out of 1 to 10. I've dated somebody.
That's off the scale.
Yeah, I dated somebody where it's like it'd be special days like anniversary, Valentine's Day, whatever. You're not a planner. You're not a planner. You're not like a get ready by 7. I don't want you to do nothing else. It's always, I don't know, what do you want to do? Or be at the restaurant and how do you want to do this? What are you talking about? Are you talking about paying? What? So I ain't gonna know what to do if I come across a leader, a planner.
I hope that you will know what to do. You will know how.
I know I will.
Right in line.
In a funny way. Yeah, of course, for sure. But it's just bad.
I can honestly tell you, I've never came across a man that I dealt with that wasn't a leader. I'm attracted to leaders. I'm also very old-fashioned that I believe that my man should wear the pants. And here's how serious I am about a man being a leader. He should be able to walk in the house and say, pack your bags, the world is coming to an end, we got to go. My bag already in the car.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so when I say lead,
you that.
when I say lead, and this is the part where I think some of the younger guys get it wrong and things don't end up working out and their women don't respect them. Because see, leadership and respect goes hand in hand. Because if I respect you enough as my man, I'm going to let you lead me. What's that thing? I love it. I love it. I love it.
And there's a lot of guys be confused.
That thing that Jill Scott said, if you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do.
No, for real. That's why
it's like, but if I don't respect you enough for you to tell me what to do, you better skip to the loo, my darling, because I'm not listening to nothing. I'm not listening to nothing you have to say, because I don't respect you on that level. But I will tell you right now, I've never run across a man that I didn't respect. But I will tell you that when I started to lose respect for men, I left them. Mm-hmm. I told you I ain't never been broken up with. You know, I'm a queen like that. I ain't never been broken. Ain't nobody never said, we're done, it's over, I'm leaving you, get gone. I've never had a man break up with me. I have always been the one to say, I'm done. So when I start to lose respect for a man, I've always walked away. Always walked away, but with notice, like, yeah, this is not working. I don't respect you anymore as a man.
Yeah, my last relationship taught me what I won't tolerate.
Yeah. And again, the reason why I feel like for the Mother Daughter-ish podcast, this is so important is because I don't think a lot of people sit down and think about what their true preferences are. They just kind of go along to get along because maybe somebody's cute, somebody's fine, somebody's got the package, somebody got money, somebody has a kid that they are attached to because now they've fallen in love with that person's kid. Yeah. And I don't think that people sit back to think about, and I'm going to tell you something that a lot of society does is they'll say, oh, if you like this type of guy, then you must be a colorist. Or if you like that type of guy, you must be a gold digger. Or if you like that type of guy, then, you know, you don't respect yourself or whatever, when literally that could just be your preference of whatever it is that you like. So this is what I want to get back to. For all of our listeners, this is what I want to get back to. I want to get back to the communication of it all. And for women and men to decide in relationships what they really, really prefer and not what everybody prefers for them.
True.
I know what I prefer, and that's the only thing I'm ever going to go for. It's never going to be a time where I'm like, yeah, I know he's 5'1", but I just love him so much. I'm not saying I can't fall in love with a 5'1" person, but what I'm saying is that he's not going to get close enough to me for me to figure it out. Because I prefer a tall man. Talking about a tall man to be my husband. Right. I was thinking about this the other day. I was getting in the shower, and I'm just like, I do a lot of thinking when I'm in the shower, you know, because I'll be minding my own business, you know. And I was saying to myself that, you know, my marriage record is very, very important to me, and that I only want to have who I want to have as my husband, you know, as on record is what I'm saying. Like, whoever I marry next has to be completely my true preference, because I chose to marry the first person that I wanted to marry. He chose me, I should say, and then I chose to marry him. Whoever I choose next that also chooses me, my marriage record has to look good. And when I say look good, I'm talking about not just on paper, but it has to be somebody that I'm very, very, very attracted to enough to be like, you know, this is the one. Like I said, I'm on the other side of the life thing here, you know, with 50 and 50 is 100. So if I live to be 100, then luckily I would have at least so many decades that I could be with whoever I'm going to be with. So, all right, what about, I don't know about this one. For you, not for me. I'm okay with it. Do you like a man that's vulnerable? So women say that they prefer a man that has a vulnerability piece to them that is visible.
I mean, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do too. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, the Michael Jordan crying emoji in public, not that. I'm not
somebody that's in tune and tapped in with their emotions, and that's
right, and enough to be able to trust me enough to share that with me, and then I would trust them enough to share that vulnerable part to me. Like
that's a good example. I was watching Hank and Kendra the other day.
Uh-huh.
And he said the reason why he didn't tell her about the scandal and stuff is because the way she talks to him, it makes him feel like he can't open up about nothing. So that's why it took 3+ weeks for him to open up and say something.
I can't tell you because you're gonna talk bad to me. Okay.
Yeah, but it's the way she talks to him though. When she's mad, whether she's
like talk down to him.
Yeah, she talks to him like he's a dog. Like she's emotionally immature.
Oh, you saw her do that on the show?
Yeah, she's yeah, that's my girl. But yeah.
I know you
I can totally see. It's not right what he did, but I can totally see why he did not tell her right when it happened. But she doesn't make him feel like he could say something right after it happened. Like,
have you ever done that to a guy?
What?
Where you just were so fed up with them that when they came to you to try to tell you something, you just talked to them bad? Have you ever talked bad to a guy?
No, I think I maybe asked my ex if he was stupid or slow when he did something. But
was the answer yes or no?
I mean, he got offended because I mean, what he did, he had to have been. But that's probably the most I probably said. I mean, I don't know. I probably said some stuff. I think that's probably the worst thing I probably said. But Kendra, she be talking to him like he a dog. Worse than a dog.
I've never had the opportunity or the reason to ever talk bad to a man that I've been with. Even if they dogged or did something stupid or cheated or whatever. Cause I'm out type of person. Like, I know that somebody told me, they said, well, you probably won't have too many long-term relationships because you don't give people a chance to mess up. And I said, no, actually, I've only had long-term relationships and I give people the opportunity to do right. So why would you want to do wrong? Because the way I look at things is like this. I'm an adult and you're an adult. We already agreed that we're going to be together and it's just us. So how disrespectful are you really to go and cheat?
You think I won't find out.
Right. And not only that, you didn't even give me the opportunity to decide if I wanted to mix all of my stuff with all of that stuff. Like you didn't even give me the chance to decide if that was something that I wanted. So, I look at that almost like attempted murder because you never know what somebody else has. And if you bring it to me, then I could have that. And then that's something that I have to live with. And, if I'm raising kids and trying to have a family and everything, but because of you now I have this disease or I have this deadly concoction in my body because you were so stupid that. And you know what I never have understood? I've never understood men who cheat on great women, but then tell them, but I love you so much. To me, that is.
I know why mine did it. My ex did it.
To me, that's the most emotionally damaging conversation a man and a woman who are in a relationship could be in. That if you say you love me, and when I say, why did you cheat? And you can't answer the question because clearly, okay, so where the school of love that I come from, and nobody taught me this, I taught myself this. The school of love that I come from is that you don't do anything to hurt me and I don't do anything to hurt you. And clearly you sleeping around with other people, or clearly if I slept around with other people, would be completely hurtful to the relationship. So I prefer someone who is mature enough to know that there are a gazillion other beautiful, wonderful, successful, nice, funny, great women out there, but you chose to be here. If you wanted to find out about all of those other women, you would have stayed single. Don't get me involved.
In my situation, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that he wasn't satisfied. It was, oh, you always make me feel like I'm not doing something right. And I'm like, how old are you? How old are you? Seriously.
But see, that's also a reverse. That's also right there. I consider a reverse psychology thing, because then it makes you feel like you made them do that.
Definitely not. And then therapy made me realize that, I was dating a beta male, somebody that was a gaslighting narcissist, somebody that didn't have a role model at all on how to be a man or a great boyfriend, future husband.
Which is kind of strange because that person grew up in a 2-family home.
A toxic one, a very toxic
and two-parent home. Yeah.
Very toxic and emotionally abusive one. So he knew he had a blueprint on what to do in negative ways, but nothing in a good way. So that's why I leave at the first red flag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to leave at the first red flag, but I'm sure you saw many, many red flags there before you left.
Oh yeah, even before we made it official.
Sometimes you be trying to give people a chance, and they don't really be worth that chance, though. But
this is the same person. One time he had a hickey on his chest, right? Ain't gonna tell me
like
he got
from
hit
you.
ain't gonna tell me he got hit by a ball at the gym. What do you think I have written on my forehead? Please tell me. Do you see anything?
What
I got
did
a
you
5 head. Do you?
So my question is, what did you do about it?
I stopped talking to him for a while. This is before we made it. This is way before we actually made it official. But I stopped talking to him for a while. But then I also couldn't be mad because he wasn't the only person I was talking to. So, but clearly I got with him in a relationship after that. So that said a lot.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, I was like, wow, you gotta be a bold person. And then you think I'm stupid? Like I know how bruises work. Like that's a fresh one. But I found out
I've heard all kinds of crazy stories about hickeys. The cabinet hit me in the kitchen, or I was shaving and it was a bump there and I kept itching it and it turned red, or
I watched too many crime documentaries.
I was sitting there pinching myself and I realized I was pinching a bruise onto myself. So, I've heard all kinds of things, not from too many people I've been dating.
This is why I gotta leave now. If something like that, God forbid anything like that ever happens, but I would have to for real leave because I've watched too many crime doc. I don't even know what I'm capable of.
You're probably on that one that's called For My Man, and you'll be like, "It's okay, baby."
Absolutely not. I'm gonna be on Snap.
Oh my God. That's another thing right there is I prefer not to be with someone who would bring that side of me out, because I know it's there. We all have that dormant in us that we could go off, we could snap, we could, do anything if pushed far enough, and if we feel threatened about something. But I prefer to be with someone who would not even bring that side out in me, that would not bring the side out that would make me want to cuss them out, the side that would make me want to reach out and touch them, the side that would make me want to put sugar in their gas tank, the side that would, make me want to get some hot grits and
or slash all 3, not 4 tires, but 3.
I would prefer not to have anyone around me that would make me pull out that side of me that I prefer. Yeah, that side of me that I prefer not to be like. Like, what you want to be like and what you don't want to be like, and that's not something I would want to be like. I think that aggressiveness that can be pulled out of you could bring out anything. You don't know what you can do, because again, like on that show you were just talking about, Snapped, I'm sure some of those women just literally did exactly that. I've never seen the show, but the name tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah, because I think all that trauma stuff can definitely make you black out mentally and make you forget stuff that you do, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I done seen enough of it.
What's a number one out of all the 7 that we just mentioned? And it doesn't have to be one from this list of 7. But what's the number one? What's the number one preference that is a must?
Being a leader.
A man that's a leader.
I think actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've only been in 4 relationships in my life, and I've never been with one that was a leader. Really? My longest one was the last one I was in. Before that, it'd be like 6 months, which don't even really count. But my longest relationship was 7 years. So yeah, I don't think about it. I don't think he's ever done anything to be a leader. I don't. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be refreshing.
And I've never been with anybody who wasn't a leader, so I'm very proud to be able to say that, because I don't have a reference to anybody who's not a leader. Now, I've had guys that have tried to talk to me, and you talk to them for a little bit, and then I noticed that this is not the one that I would want to give too much energy to. So then I don't even friend zone you. I just don't talk to you anymore. Just leave it alone. But I am very attracted to leaders. Somebody, like I say, if they said, the sky is falling, we need to go underground, I'm already underground in the bunker. You know what I'm saying? So I prefer those type of guys. So what about money? Is there a preference that you have for a man that would be related to money?
What do you mean, like?
You hear some, like, I remember I was in the backyard the other day and this popped in. See, I'll be minding my own business and people's crazy stuff be popping up in my head. I remember this one young girl in the family. She used to always say, "Oh, I'm only gonna be with a man that earns 6 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures." I want to know so bad, did you ever get them 6 figures? Because I don't think she did. Because I know the person that she had kids with didn't even have two figures. So
It's
I
like
don't
the
know.
girls Kevin Samuels interviewed in Miami not too long ago. First of all, them girls was too young and couldn't even answer the question.
How old they were, in their 20s or younger?
One of them just turned 21 that I was following on Twitter, and I had to unfollow
They
her.
don't even know
Like, you're
themselves.
literally a dingbat. You can't even answer the questions he's asking.
Well, they're not a dingbat. They're just too young to have even gotten to know their self. And one thing about it, I could tell you, if you don't get to know yourself, you'll never be able to attract what you want because you don't even know yourself enough. So he interviewed some girls to ask them questions about what they prefer or something.
Pretty much their standards on men, like what they're looking for in men, what their man has to have, type stuff.
I still can't figure out why women take advice from him, and why women go on his show and why they even allow him to ask them questions.
Well, first of all, the girl that I followed on Twitter, the one that I didn't like how she was answering, she didn't. I don't know how, but she didn't know until she got there that she was interviewing with him. She just was told from whoever that she was going to be on someone's podcast, but she didn't know it was him until she got there. So I guess that probably surprised her, but still, he's not asking you hard questions.
Yeah, but as soon as I would have saw it was him, I would have said, that's okay, I don't want to do it. Because
exactly.
I don't look at him as an authority. I don't look at him as a alpha male. I don't look at him as Mr. Know-it-all. I don't look at him as somebody that I would ever take advice from. He's not the type of guy I would even take advice from. So a lot of the advice guys that are on podcasts nowadays, none of them attract me enough to listen to them. And that's all of them. And I won't name the other ones, but a lot of them, women that I know really do follow them, but I would never follow any of them because I can see that they're not authentic. I also can see that it's all just kind of like a game for them. So I would never take any advice from any of them, especially, and it's not just because he's not married and all of that, but it's just that there's something about him that tells me no. So what about it? So do you have a money preference?
Not like a money preference as far as like, oh, he needs to be making six figures, but I think that he needs to definitely at least be financially stable to do what he wants to do, what he needs to be doing.
Yeah.
Have financial freedom for sure and stability.
Yeah, which is kind of hard because a lot of people don't have financial freedom because they're so busy trying to keep up with the Joneses that they have $700 and $2,000 car notes, and they have, 500 square foot apartments. They're paying $2,000.
Yeah, like I know people that I know this one girl that stayed in Kiana's old apartments. She had two full-time jobs just to cover, not I wouldn't say just to cover, but she had a $500 car note on a Mazda. A Mazda.
And that probably didn't even include the insurance. So it's probably close to $700 to $800.
I'm like,
yeah. I had a friend, she married a guy who had a little bit of money, and he had gotten her a big body Benz. And the car note was $1,200 a month. And then the insurance was like $3 something. So, I mean, I just was like, that's really heavy. I mean, he had a great, business and everything, but I just didn't feel like that Benz was worth, that monthly note, even if you put money down. But it was like $130,000 Benz. So that kind of note for 5 to 7 years is a lot of money when within 3 years you're going to want a whole new Benz because that's how you rolling.
And then I know girls that have like cars like that too and flossing it, but it's their parents that's paying the note and the insurance, and it's like you don't really have it like that. That's why you ain't.
And the car probably ain't even in their name because they can't afford it.
Exactly, or have the credit for it.
Or have the credit to sustain it. I can tell you the person that I'm interested in, I know that they're probably financially secure. I don't know their status as far as money, but I will tell you if that same person worked at Walmart, I find a way to go to Walmart every day. I'm gonna need a bag of Doritos on Monday. I'm gonna need some Oreos.
You need to get them hot chips for the challenge.
I'm gonna need some paper plates on Wednesday. I'm gonna need some comment on Thursday. Trust me, I would find a way to get to Walmart just to be like, hey. So obviously money preference is not a big deal as long as you can maintain what you need to maintain.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And if you have enough of money to maintain a wife, a girlfriend, or a long-term relationship,
meaning triple trips a year or something like that.
No. I need a trip a month, not no couple of trips a year. I can do that on my own. We need to be going somewhere at least once a month because that's what I can do for myself right now. So if we can go
That's
somewhere
true.
once a month without you having to miss work. Now, of course, if my baby worked at Walmart, I have to acquiesce to just going somewhere on the weekend and maybe Lake Travis or something. But
Because they do have a lot of hours that they be picking up.
I know, but like I say, even if that person that I like worked at Walmart, trust me, I'll be finding a way to go to Walmart to pick up meal or something to see if Mr. So-and-so is in today. He would know, dang, she here every day. So money is not a preference. What about career? Do you want someone who has a job? Or now we're talking by the time you decide you want a husband, you want someone who has a job 9 to 5, or someone who has a career where they have more flexibility and freedom? Or does it not matter? You don't prefer either. It doesn't matter.
I say someone that has a career, like flexibility and freedom. Like again, I've been talking to this guy for some days now. He's a truck driver, and he's one of those truck drivers where he doesn't have to be gone for weeks at a time. He just leaves at like 2 a.m. to get to Dallas at a certain amount of time and do what he got to do there and then come back. But if he doesn't want to stay with that company and move on to someone else, he can just rip the sticker off and pretty much make his own hours and stuff, which I think is cool. Because I mean, what if you want to get up and go on a trip? Because he already talking about taking vacations and trips and stuff. I'm like, how you gonna do that? I was just thinking, like, how you gonna do that if you are a truck driver? But he explained to me that he has flexibility and stuff if he really wanted to. But I think that's important to have flexibility, and because that 9 to 5 stuff ain't for me. So if it ain't for me, it's probably not gonna be for you.
Yeah, be careful with those truck drivers. They usually have holes in different area codes.
Oh, I know that too, for sure. I know a lot of friends that
Oh
have.
my God. I had a friend who married a truck driver. She loved him so much, and they were such a good looking couple, but she found out that he had literally 30 different women. When it all came down to it, and she got a hold of that cell phone, and she married him within like maybe 6 months of them knowing one another.
Oh no, I could never.
He bought her a brand new $300,000 home. He made sure she had everything, and she had her own business too. He made sure she had everything she needed. And he was only gone like maybe 1 week or 2 weeks out of the month, and then they'd be together. But he had 30 other women. Even after he married her, he still was dipping in and out with these other women. And one of them, he had asked her to marry him. So I don't know how he was going to be married to 2 women, but again, maybe he asked her to marry him just to buy him 2 more years. Like the guy said, we ask you to marry us just so we can buy 2 more years. So maybe that's what happened.
Like I have to tell this dude, like, you don't have to tell me every time you stop or every time you're on your way back. Like I don't have to know every pinpoint of your. I mean, it's nice to know, but I don't need to know. Like I'm not.
I think for me, I've been on too many road trips where I stop at the different gas stations that also have the truck drivers,
like Buc-ee's or
especially
Love's.
the one. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want it to be that they're the ones, because I don't.
Places that have those truck stops.
Yeah, places that have like a truck stop too. And I like to stop there because it's usually busy. I feel a little bit more safe, especially if I'm traveling by myself. Yeah. But I've also seen the ones that like have the showers and everything in there. I've seen the hookers hanging out. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those guys have beds in the back of their trucks so that when they stop, they can go to sleep. But it'd be more than sleep going on in their back seat.
Yeah.
So those guys scare me. Because I've seen it. I've literally seen it. And plus I had a friend who married a truck driver, and it was just like 30 other women. Like, no wonder he could be gone for 2 weeks, because he could just, on the road, stop at each one of them house on the road, because he had a typical route. I say, wow, that's crazy. Okay, as far as preference, because we've talked about 9 things so far, is there another thing that you preference that then society says that's colorist? Now, I've told you in the past, I don't believe in the word colorist. I don't believe in colorism. I don't believe in any of it when it comes to me choosing what I like and what I want to see. Do you have a particular shade of man?
I actually don't. I used to be one of those, like, if I date a chocolate man, he needs to be fine, like Tank or somebody. But physical wise, because he's so.
I thought you was gonna say Morris Chestnut. I was gonna say.
I mean, I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say Morris Chestnut, Tank, like, the fine chocolate ones that all of us.
The little man.
I wouldn't say Idris Elba, because I don't. I mean, not even height wise. I'm just saying features. But
okay.
I guess my track record as far as like who I've been attracting, they've been like caramel complexion, but people say I have a type, but I really don't discriminate.
What do they say your type is? That caramel color?
Yeah, like caramel, like yeah.
Well, again, preference is what we prefer and what we like, and we get to choose that. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
what I was saying. Other people like you can be one of the people that have a kid and don't want to date no one with kids. Like that's your
yeah,
preference.
yeah. When I was under 23 years old, if they weren't my skin color to your skin color, I wasn't interested.
We know.
Because I just prefer a type of person. You kind of go with what people look like in your family, and so you look at different skin colors. And here's the wonderful thing that I love about Black people. It's Black History Month, but I'll tell you what I really love about us. What I really love about us is if we come in every spectrum of color. We come in high yellow white looking. We come in high yellow black looking. We come in high yellow Asian looking. We come in blue black. That's what I love about uh my race, is that we come in every single color. Somebody had a question the other day, I think it was on Instagram, and they said, they were asking Black women, how do you feel about dating outside of your race and all that? And I said, I don't really care about the race thing, but I do want to date somebody within my color spectrum, meaning within my Black people's color spectrum. So that is what I prefer. Now, the older I got, when I got about 24 years old, 23, 24 years old, I preferred midnight to blue black. That's what I prefer as far as on the color spectrum. And I love saying the color spectrum for Black people because we come in every single color. I can't even think of a color we don't come in. We come in yellow, we come in red, we come in black, we come in brown, we come in caramel color, we come in pink. I mean, we are so many different beautiful spectrums of people that there is no reason, and this is my opinion and my opinion only. This is not the opinion of YouTube, Google, and nobody else. This is my own personal opinion, that I don't understand why any particular race would want to go outside of their race when within our race is what I'm talking about, because we come in every color. We come in every shade that you can think of. You can walk outside your door and you can see just about every shade of person, which is, I'll tell you a little secret, which is why I ended up moving into a diverse community when y'all were kids. Like when you and Josh graduated from preschool, I was like, you know what, it's time for them to go to school. I really didn't want y'all to go to an all Black school like I did, because I feel like that kind of skewed my vision of what I thought the world looked like. And when you're only around a particular type of people, you think that those are the only people that exist almost. So when you and Josh got ready to go to preschool, I was like, I really want to move out into a diverse neighborhood where my kids could go to school with every race there is, so that they could see how, Mexican people live, how Spanish, how Chinese people live, how Indian people live, how every, particular type of race of people live. So when I moved out here, I was so happy to know that the schools were very, very diverse and that y'all could see different types of people, because I wasn't afforded that opportunity when I was in high school. It was like all Black and then maybe a few Mexicans that thought they were Black. So that's pretty much the case. Now in the engineering department, which we weren't allowed to go upstairs and they was too scared to come downstairs, in the engineering department, you did have a couple of Indians and a couple of white people in the engineering department, because Booker T. Washington High School for Engineering Professions was one of the top schools if you wanted your kid to go there to study in the engineering field, of trying to figure out where they wanted to go when they went to college. Was it, science and engineering? Was it architecture? Was it, what part of engineering did you want to be a part of? So, that was what I did for my kids, because I think this will be fair to give them a different outlook to then make decisions from based on they've seen a variety instead of only one flavor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I was thinking, because I can tell you when I signed my paperwork to buy this house, I was told a lady, I said, oh, y'all got the city wrong. And she said, what do you mean? I said, don't hear it say Katy, Texas. She said, that's where you are. I was like, oh, I thought it was just Houston. She said, no, ma'am, this is a whole different city. I was like, oh, whatever. I didn't think nothing of it, because I still felt like it was Houston anyway, because I mean, if I walk to the end of my street and make a right, I'm in Houston. So
yeah, you're like right there on the what you call it? What do they call
right,
it?
yeah, on that line, on that borderline.
Yeah.
Katy Houston Cypress. Now it's all on the borderline of Katy Houston Cypress. If you go further back, you may be Cypress, Texas. If you go a little further to the right, you're Katy. Come back
Yeah, some
around.
people ask me what side of town I stay on. I either say West Houston or I say
Which is true. The only problem with
Katy.
saying West Houston is sometimes they consider Memorial area West as well.
Oh yeah, but I mostly say Katy/Cypress.
Yeah. So when somebody asks me if they've never been to Houston, they say, "Where do you live?" I say, "I live far west." Because if I say far west, then they'll know to come to Cypress, to down 290, going toward Austin or something like that. So I'll say far west.
Northeast is like Humble. Is northeast?
No. Yeah, northeast is Humble, 59.
Yeah,
59. Northwest is
that way.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be the Beltway, just 59 north going toward Cleveland. That would be northeast. If you go up toward where your grandma lives and that end of the Beltway, that's northwest, like Greens Point. Those are northwest, where Northwest Mall used to be, all of that. We're far west.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're south and southeast and southwest and all that stuff. So I learned my directions in Houston real good a long time ago because I never used to drive on the freeway. So I would always have to figure out what direction am I going in? Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going?
Yeah.
Because even when we lived in that apartment, when you and Joshua in preschool, that was Northwest still. Because we were very close to Northwest Mall, like 5 minutes from Northwest Mall, which is no longer open, of course, but it was the mall back in the day. Any other top preference you have before we end today? I think we've covered a lot of them that are kind of hot topics that I hear other people kind of discussing, and I hear heated debates about this. There was some popular podcast guys, Fresh and Fit or Fit and Fresh or whatever. They do lifestyle and coaching men on dates, and one of the guys said he don't date Black women, and everybody got in an uproar. And I'm just sitting there going like, I wasn't watching their podcast. I was watching somebody interview them from their podcast because they got in a little bit of a controversy because he said he don't date Black women. And then I think one of them dolls, I don't know if it was China Doll, whoever doll, whatever, went on their podcast and got into an argument with him, and she left the podcast and stormed off of the podcast. And then one of the guys ended up saying, now he did say something that was a little insensitive. He said, "I don't date night riders." Now this is coming from a Black man. He said, "I don't date night riders." What he's saying is he don't date dark girls.
Oh, I was gonna say, what does that even mean? That's so
I know, I didn't know what it meant either until I saw them being interviewed on another show. And then the other guy said, well, he didn't mean night riders, he meant ghetto Black girls. And I'm like, you can be light skinned and be ghetto as heck.
That doesn't sound.
Yeah. So what he was saying, but what he failed to tell everybody is that he's married to a white woman. So it's like, then just say that, but don't talk about you don't date Black women and because basically saying like Black women are all ghetto. So I was just like, first of all, you're in your 20s, so your conversation to me is dumb from jump because you're too young and dumb to know what you're saying. But I just thought it was very interesting that somebody would say something like that. I think it would have been less insensitive if he would have said, you know what, I prefer to date XYZ, instead of saying, I don't date night riders, I don't date ghetto Black girls. Like every single girl that's Black is ghetto. Do you know?
When I hear people that's not our race that say the word ghetto, I be wanting to ask.
But these are two Black guys.
I know, but like when I hear other people say ghetto, I be wanting to know, like, what is your definition of ghetto?
Yeah, because I could take you to the ghetto. I mean, we can get ghetto. I mean, just because I may speak Ebonics don't mean I'm ghetto.
Right.
So I don't know what half of the people be thinking ghetto is. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't really think any of them have actually been to the actual ghetto.
Yeah, I think they'd be the first one screaming if they heard a shootout. Yeah,
because I've heard some other races, other different types of races talk, and I'm just like, that's ghetto. And they weren't necessarily Black.
Now, I'll be watching some ghetto stuff, and it's pretty entertaining. My definition of ghetto is ratchet, and my definition of ratchet is just outlandish, and I could just keep going. Like, it's just, like the stuff on Zeus, it's ghetto, but it's very entertaining. It's very...
I have never watched that channel, but then on top of that, there's nothing over there that I think I could handle.
Probably not, but that Jocelyn's Cabaret, her new season.
They was just talking about this today. I had turned it on one of the bloggers, And as soon as he started talking about her cabaret and he was saying like she got it going on, and I think they in Vegas this year, I turned it off because I was like, I can't.
I say y'all better get it now while it's $3.99 because it's too good to be that low.
Oh, it's free to get on Zeus?
No, it's $3.99. But I said they better get it now before the prices go up because you know the stuff on there, they can do stuff on there that VH1 wouldn't let them, like, you know.
Well, they're saying that they're building up their programming over there so that they can get the backing, because I think Saucy Santana's got 2 shows coming over there.
Yeah, I heard that too.
But they're trying to build up their programming over there so that they can get the backing of the advertisers and all that. I don't know why they haven't gotten it yet, because I think Jocelyn, they said she's been really carrying it over there.
She has. I think she was one of the first shows on there.
That's why then. That's why.
Black China's mom has a dating show on there.
Still on there?
No, it's still on there, but she only had one.
Tell you something. I'm not trying to be funny, but Black China Mom is entertaining.
Oh yeah, I had to just follow her on Instagram the other day. She is funny.
Let me put it like this. She's entertaining to catch a whiff every now and then, but I think she's way too entertaining for me to look at her every day, because here's what people don't get about Black China Mama. She sprinkle in a little bit of crazy with a little bit of truth.
Yeah, she be knowing some stuff for real.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, but it's kind of like Kanye West. If you only focus on the crazy, you'll never get the genius out of them.
Yeah.
Like right now, Kanye is being bashed really, really bad. But see, I'm going to ride with him till the wheels come off. And let me tell you why. Because I've heard more wisdom from him than I've seen shenanigans or heard shenanigans. So let me tell you something about Black China Mom. And I don't know nothing about Black China. I don't know nothing because I ain't never seen nothing, none of them being in. But every time I've ever seen anybody interview Black China's mom, what is her mama name?
Tokyo Tony.
Every time I've ever seen Tokyo Tony get interviewed, she sprinkle in a little bit of truth and wisdom with a little bit of crazy. So my brain says, okay, we're going to block out this crazy stuff she's talking about. We're going to get this wisdom and this truth, because and here's what I love about her too. And I don't know when it's all going to pop off, but she never signed any kind of gag orders or non-disclosures or nothing with nobody. So you know when she's telling you stuff, it's because she can. Because other than that, she wouldn't be talking about it. But like even with the Kardashians, like she say, I ain't never signed no non-disclosure. I ain't never signed no confidentiality. I ain't signed nothing.
And she don't even have to necessarily be around them, which she was, I'm sure, for a certain amount of time. But all she got to do is listen to what
she was. And maybe a lot of what she's heard has been through Black China. And if Black China signed confidentiality statements, whatever somebody else say ain't got nothing to do with her. She can say. So there's a way around it, you know. So I can listen to Tokyo Tony. I can stand her. You know what I'm saying? She
was just on Instagram the other day trying to call out Khloe Kardashian because I guess her and Black China still going through this court stuff, and Khloe wants court documents of her OnlyFans
financials and all that stuff. They want to, and all they're trying to prove is that she didn't miss any money from that show being canceled. But I don't care if I have $1 million here. I could have got another $1 million from over there. So you missed.
I actually like the show too.
Which one?
The one her and Rob had.
Yeah. I never did see it. I got confused because I thought he was with the Bailon girl, and then all of a sudden
she broke up with him.
Yeah, but I didn't even know that. And then all of a sudden,
because you don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Never have seen one episode, but all of a sudden you had seen like on the blogs and stuff that he was with Bailon. And then I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden Black China was in the kitchen cooking for him, and they were saying that they was getting freaky. And I was like, but wait a minute, what happened to the Bailon? And I was so confused.
He had cheated on her, and then she moved on. And then, because I remember one episode,
he had the nerve to cheat.
Oh, I mean, he was a stud back then. He was getting girls.
Oh, that's right.
Even if he had the finest one, he was getting girls.
Okay, so this is pre.
He really loved Adrian, and he was just too young and dumb.
Okay, that's what I didn't ever know what happened. Why did him and Blac Chyna break up?
I don't remember why, actually, but I know I got really.
Because it seemed to me like they were really toxic together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really remember why.
So somebody who talked like a dog to their man is her, because somebody had showed a clip where they was in the car and he was on his phone and she just started cussing him out from left to right about somebody calling him or him doing something. And she talked to him like he was a mutt, not even a dog, but just a mutt. She just talk to him like trash, and she screamed and screamed and screamed, and I didn't understand. So I wasn't gonna watch it. They not look, y'all and them Kardashians is not finna traumatize me.
I'm only on season 7 out of 20 something. So
I have never seen one episode. I can't even tell you nothing. People make jokes on their different podcasts and stuff about saying that they never used to eat food. All they would do is cook salads. I don't even know. I ain't never seen no episode, and I will not be watching any episodes. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I admire the hustle. Please don't misunderstand. I admire the hustle.
I think they broke up because I think Blac Chyna's antics was too much for him, like her alleged drug use and stuff.
Oh, did he say that? Okay.
Oh yeah, he said all of that. He's the one that leaked one of her pictures.
A naked picture?
Yep.
What? Oh wow.
They was engaged too. I'm slowly.
Well, I wouldn't have done that just on the strength that they got a kid together. So she got some cute kids, but all right. Well, that's our show on preference today. This has been so delightful because I think by saying what it is that we prefer, I think that we can attract that to us. And also knowing what you don't want is very important as well. So by speaking whatever your preference is, and by making, and I also think by making a stance on what you believe in, and not falling for what the world says you should stand for and you believe in, and all of these new words like colorist and all of this stuff. I think that it's just important to know who you are and to not really care about what other people definitions of you are, because I'm gonna tell you, I don't care. I am so glad. I can remember since middle school, somebody made fun of some pants I had on or something because they weren't name brand. And I think I had told my mom, and she was like, do they pay your bills? Do they feed you? And ever since then, I've had this attitude of not caring what other people say about me, especially if they don't mean anything to me, they don't hold any energy with me, they don't have any stock with me, they don't feed me, they don't pay my bills. Like, and I also was that type of person when I was in school. You could say whatever you wanted to say. You could talk about my mama. You could talk about my dead grandma. You could talk about anybody you wanted to, but just don't touch me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been that type of person. Like, say whatever you want to say, just don't touch me.
Yeah.
Cap on me or do whatever you want to do. Just keep in mind, you don't hold any energy with me. I don't care what you have to say. Like, I heard what you said, and it's just like water off a duck's back. It doesn't matter. And I've kept that energy since middle school, simply because I feel like if you don't have that built in you, everything somebody say will hurt your feelings. You know that thing I sent you yesterday about the most sensitive signs?
Mm-hmm.
Pisces and Aquarius was in. I was like, oh my God, I got 2 sensitive people.
I mean, yeah, water signs.
That's crazy to me. Oh, well, that's our show for today. Tell us down in the comments what your top preferences are. At least give us a couple of them and let us know what your top preferences are. We have named quite a few today and talked about quite a few. If you'd like to support our podcast, and we know you want to, our Cash App is $MDI podcast.
Yes, and before we let you go, please continue to like our content, keep sharing and commenting on our content as well. We see them as they come, and we're replying as soon as we see the comments. So keep doing what you're doing.
And thank you for watching Mother Daughter Ish. And until next time, bye for now.
Bye.